So I would like to invite our next guest speaker, Subrata Kumar. So thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Subrata Kumar, for joining the session. We are running late. Apologies for that because it's a back-to-back sessions. Yeah, but you can speak your mind in your time. No problems.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sheikh. Absolutely fine. I understand for the delay. Absolutely fine. Um, Thanks for giving this opportunity. Who are there in this conference?
Yeah, let me give
Um,
a quick introduction. Let me give a quick
yeah,
introduction. So, Mr. Subrata Kumar is talking on data to decisions, fixing the forecast, sales and operations planning disconnect. So, he's talking about this topic today. Subrata Kumar, Mr. Subrata Kumar is a seasoned business leader and supply chain strategist with 17 plus years of experience across consulting, digital transformation, and enterprise analytics. He had led high impact supply chain and planning initiatives across EV, automotive, FMCG, pharma, food and beverages, e commerce, and energy sectors. So, thank you, Subrata ji, for the session. Welcome, and please take off.
thanks for the introduction. Let me share my screen before. Please confirm if my screen is visible. Praveen, if you can confirm, or anybody else who can confirm if
Yeah,
my
we
screen
can
is
see the
visible.
screen. Yes, yes, it is visible. It
Okay.
is visible.
All the thanks all the panelists and the organizer, and of course the participants also. Today we'll discuss about a topic not much into the operational or the technical aspects of sales and operation planning or supply chain. I'll talk more about the governance aspect, more logic side, and the reason for many of the S&OP transformation fail. Where is the disconnect? Basically, that's the part we are talking today. Not into technical or not into the operational aspects of supply chain. Um, what happened? The supply chain that if you have very good forecast accuracy, then your S&OP is good or your supply chain is good. Today we are challenging that common belief that better forecast accuracy is, but in reality, digital information fail not because of bad forecast model, but because of weak governance. I have seen organizations they spend millions of in their forecasting tool, but still they carry excess inventory. Still there is a month end expiration. Increase their forecast accuracy. Even with spending a lot of money, they improve their forecast accuracy with 10 to 12%. But that is not actually the business want. Business doesn't really care about forecast accuracy. They care about the actual outcome of the business. Because the real problem was not forecast, it was the decision. Places, if you see, is they feel that forecasting is a mathematical exercise. S&OP is basically a monthly meeting, and digital transformation is treated as a technology upgrade. But actually, doesn't your S&OP meeting. It failed because of bad algorithm. They fail because demand, supply, and finance are not aligned around a single committed plan. Today we are not share a, Today we'll share a practical perspective basically from the field. Why great first still fail in S&OP, where digital transformation goes wrong, and what actually makes S&OP drive business outcome, not just better metrics. Sometimes we often celebrate improved forecast accuracy, but if inventory volatility still persists and month-end expediting is still continuing and there are revenue surprises, then we have optimized only our metrics but not actual the business, right? So your accuracy is basically talks about a local optimization, a mathematical number. We say that, oh, okay, we improved our accuracy and we achieved from 60% accuracy to 72% or 75% accuracy with the help of the new tool. But if alignment across sales, supply chain, and finance is weak, higher accuracy won't translate into financial performance. So I'll give practical example also. Let's say you have you have the past sales history, and based on the past sales history, the data is great, and you which is which is used to forecast your future sales, and accordingly what happen, your purchase orders are arrived. But in organization, purchase order, just simply arriving purchase order doesn't matter. How much purchase orders are converted into sales order, and how much sales orders are converted or sales orders are converted into actual invoices, and how much invoices are translated into delivering the material at the site. That is important. Simply, if your forecast accuracy is improved because you have got some purchase orders, that really doesn't help. Organization invest in AI, advanced planning systems, but rarely redesign decision rights. Technology automates the math, but it doesn't fix accountability. Your AI model deployed, you have lot of dashboards everywhere, starting from your demand planner till the functional heads. You have lot of dashboards everywhere visible, but what about your decisions? Who is taking that decision? Is it still clear? I think that is important question needs to be answered. Today will many of the organization, they will tell that, oh, okay, consensus forecast is done, and people are following that number. Beyond that, who is talking about the accountability? Who is talking about the responsibility? Many SNOP meetings end in consensus, but consensus does not equal commitment. Without one enterprise number and clear ownership, the business continue to operate in silos. The sales team doesn't talk to the marketing team or the finance team doesn't talk to the operation team. So they have their own KPIs and own numbers, but nobody talks to each other. Supply team, they protects about stability of the supply. Finance talks about only margin, but no one owns the enterprise number, which is basically the problem. The real constraint is basic governance, not actually the algorithm. So who owns the demand number? Who approves the risk trade-offs? Basically, if at all there is a risk, have you ever simulate any risks involved? If it is not done, then there is nothing. We cannot say that, oh, these numbers are realistic number. Who signs up the financial exposures? How much will be the revenue? How much will be my EBITDA? How much will be my net margin? Who actually what will be my working capital requirement? All these sign offs. Who does that? So basically, all these aspects are not clear in the regular SNOP meeting. This needs to be a clear answer. This needs to be answered clearly. The biggest concern in SNOP is not predictive capability. It's actually the governance clarity. So, so if governance is not there, only algorithm will not help, in improving your forecast performance or forecast accuracy, or ultimately the business numbers. if you review one plan, you are just simply what you are doing is hoping that okay, this is what we are expecting, and it will happen. But simply having a base case is basically it's a reactive management according to me. No upside downside modeling, no disruption simulation, no quantified financial scenario. Today's situation, you can see a lot of geopolitical tension, and n number of things can happen. If you are not prepared for that, if you are not simulating your system for those kind of unforeseen incidents, then simply giving a number is of no use, because anything can happen and we should be prepared. Our business should be prepared for that kind of uncertainty. A single base case plan is not a planning, it's simply an optimism. Mature S&OP organization run structured scenarios with quantified financial implication. So run multiple implication scenarios and see the financial implication, and do simulation, and see what are the numbers coming in various scenarios. That's very much important. So best in class company, they do, along with S&OP, they do decision architecture. A single demand ownership will not have bias transparency. It will not have structured escalation rules and executive level trade-off discipline. So a company which is performing very high in their supply chain excellence, they don't just improve process flows, they design decision architecture, they design clear ownership and fix the accountability. They have feasible bias and discipline trade-off management. So here I'll not go about these slides, but I'll simply talk about this is basically more of a operational slide. I don't want to go details about that, but I'll just explain what happened in a real business case. There was an organization, they had very clear S&OP model. So initially they will have statistical forecast, demand planner who used to generate the statistical forecast to into an operational forecast by enriching the statistical forecast. Then the statistical forecast will be moved to the collaborative demand portal, where the sales and marketing team will give their numbers. And once the sales team and marketing team they give their numbers, then there will be a consensus forecast. But what happened after the consensus forecast, the numbers are released and it is just published to everywhere, but there is neither not any responsibility, nothing was fixed. And the role of S&O executives in S&O is also not, S&OP is not fixed. It was simply numbers, and maximum the functional heads they used to just see the dashboards and just close it. But what to actually, on top of that, they had done this is they had done this cadence like first to second. They have forecasting, the forecast, consensus planning, and demand review. Up to here it was good, but on top of that we add another layer. Look at this, they have key users. Sorry, they had key users, but they the responsibility, they had not fixed the accountability, and beyond demand review they have not fixed the role of the executives. That is the key points. And look at the governance model we prepared for them. What is the role of the demand owner? Who is the supply owner? What is the role of the finance controller and executive sponsorer? Everything is clearly defined on top of the existing S&OP model they had. So this is not about meetings, it is about a RASI clarity. Who, what are the responsibility, accountability, consultant, and information clarity. When demand, supply, and finance and executive sponsor have defined roles, and S&OP become a decision engine. That's how your S&OP model will work if there is a clear cut governance model. This is something I talk about the pyramid. Most organizations try to implement AI at the top of the pyramid. That is natural. But maturity must be built bottom up, starting with ownership and governance. Look at this pyramid. You have clear ownership and accountability. Then you have the structured cross-functional reviews. You have the integrated financial alignment, and finally the predictive AI and scenario simulation. This is how a matured S&OP model looks like. We talk about process flow in supply chain. Process flow basically describes the steps. However, decision architecture defines accountability. So here we are talking about the decision architecture versus flow. Transformation fail when processes but ignore decision design. If you look at, I'm making it very simple. Who even if who is accountable? The responsibility may be for day-to-day activity, but he may not be the accountable person. The accountable person may be the functional head. So we have to clearly define that who owns demand, what are the escalation rules in case there is any escalation, where to reach, and what are the difference level, what trade-offs are. Let's say today you think that okay, we need to change this product mix because of certain demand change. So can you do that? If it all we need to do that, who is the person who can take that decision? And lastly, who signs the financial risks? So the risk part is very important. Basically, since we are running organization in an every time we should add the risk element and understand how much risks we are carrying. If the supply is stopped because of certain reason, or if the demand is not coming because of certain reason, certain changes, what are the financial risks we are carrying? So everything needs to be documented and signed off, and there should be accountability for each and every step. So I'll talk about basically that case, what happened as we fix the governance and accountability. uh, what happened earlier simply there were political overrides and firefightings. After implementation of the decision governance, there were clear ownership and financial. Inventory was down, service was up, and this is so. After all, I am not telling anything about that. Current, if you are implementing um, a sophisticated algorithm, that will not help. That will definitely help in improving your accuracy, improving your forecast performance. But on top of that, if you have a model, that will help a lot in ultimately achieving the ultimate business goal. So in this transformation, performance improved not because of new algorithm, but because ownership and escalations were clarified at the beginning. So lastly, as I mentioned, that digital accelerate maturity, but it doesn't create it. AI's artificial intelligence basically scales your clarity, dashboard scales visibility, but leadership scales accountability. AI and dashboards amplify whatever maturity already exists. If governance is weak, technologies also create confusion, and ultimate goal is not able you will not able to achieve your ultimate goal. But if you have a very good governance model on top of your decisions model or artificial intelligence model, that will give you better business numbers rather than simply having your better algorithm. Since supply chain excellence basic discipline, supply chain abilities a leadership, involvement, alignment, and it is a governance mechanism which drives alignment. Alignment drives performance, and your performance drives ultimately your enterprise value. So that's how you should run your supply chain, and it will definitely add uh, value to your organization. And finally, a question for food for thought: are you simply improving your prediction, or improving your decisions, or improving both of these, like prediction and decision? With this, I'm kind of closing it and keeping for question and answer.
Excellent presentation and discussion. Subrata ji, you actually make it very, very simple. And you
Go ahead. I'm not
Hello,
able to
sir.
hear. Is that?
Sir, your mic is on. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
sorry. Yeah. Subrata Kumar ji, fantastic points. You really touch some very simple, very key points in sales and operations planning, which people try to avoid discussing in the technology jargon. It's very important. I was
Yeah, yeah.
echoing when I was a sales and operations planning owner way back in 2008. Okay, so I was just echoing what you're saying. We are talking about the same thing, you know, fixing accountability for demand planning, for demand plan, and then have a supply plan owner. That's really a fantastic thing, especially in the supply side. You know, there will be three, four people. Like you have a warehousing, logistics, materials management, you have manufacturing. So nobody is there as a single owner. So having a good owner will solve a majority of the problems, especially in that's very nice point what you said. And then you also said risk can be added in each part of the
Why?
sales. Mhm.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is very fantastic point. That's actually correct. We had one more session in the morning. The same thing point said. Risk it should be a part of S&OP process, and especially it could be a financial risk or it could be demand and supply risks also. You very nicely said that. And another point I like is you talk about AI at the top. Okay, that's very true because it's not only just simulations. It has to evolve from bottom up. Everywhere it should take its own part. Okay, that's fantastic. And finally, I really like supply chain excellence is a discipline. Okay, it's a really a great insightful presentation, Subrata ji. Now, in all these technology evolutions, in all these fancy things, AI, everybody is now thinking that AI will do everything. Okay, yeah, all it will solve every
Yes,
problem,
yes,
and maybe it will take up everything from your side. Whatever it could happen both sides. Now, what is your
yes,
advice
yes,
for larger? Of course, larger organizations have the bandwidth, expertise, teams to do that. What about the mid-tier companies, like mid-sized companies of 200, 500 crore companies? What is your advice for the CEOs and the leaders? Okay, what is your top three recommendations in this volatility?
very valid questions. People usually thinks this AI bubble is going. Oh, AI will do every task, but yes, AI will do repetitive tasks or certain techniques. What I discussed, keeping that in mind, how even if AI is there, what mechanism is required to make that AI successful, and where that leadership decisions are important. That insight to the entire audience that okay, simply AI will solve the purpose, or this is basically, see, earlier you used to, now we have that very fancy, very highly automated, technology savvy phones. But thing is that somebody has to listen it, somebody has to receive it. Otherwise, that phone is so. Similarly, it's
Correct.
the same
Hmm.
case with computer. So, advice for the CEOs that uh, even if you feel that artificial intelligence or AI can do much of this repetitive tasks, definitely required decision makers who is trying to implement the decision governance in the organization. So, person who is having valid experience in industry, solid experience in industry, they will be helpful in 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 keeping your supply chain and keep that excellent condition. That's the one part. Second thing is that definitely AI will help taking your accuracy to the next level. So implement sophisticated models or algorithms, but at the same time try to personalize that. Just simply get the numbers is not of any use. Try to ensure that whatever numbers they are getting or generating, in basically I'm talking about the supply chain context, simply on the forecasting context. Try to personalize those numbers. Otherwise, you will not able to achieve your ultimate business outcome. Let's say I have given out that your demand is very robust and your forecasting was very strong and it is giving very good accuracy. But if your supply is not able to fulfill that demand, then what will help that forecast accuracy will be for the organization. Ultimately, you should fulfill that demand. Then only you will get that business numbers, right? So that is also second thing very important. Materialize that. And third thing is implement certain things, but whenever you do digital S&OP, digital transformation, and ensure that it is match. Many of the cases, the kind of what I can say. So try to enforce in whatever way. I'm talking. I'm not in a regulated way. I'm telling try to implement it so that try to enforce it so that adoption rate will increase. The more people will adopt technology, the more it will help and it will take the organization to the next level.
Fantastic. Mhm. Great, great insights, Subrata ji. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed your session. And if any questions from audience, yeah, we have a time issue. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please post in the YouTube or even in the LinkedIn also. It will be popped up here. If you would like to reach out, Subrata ji, for clarifying your questions, please feel free to coordinate with us, and we will make sure that Subrata ji is available for you to answer the questions. Okay, offline. Okay, so thank you, sir. Thank you very much for a wonderful session, and it is really very simple, very straightforward, and without confusion. You clarified the things very well. So thank you very much. Thank you, Subrata ji. Thank you very much.